So, I don't really have much video ideas, but for this video, I want to talk about my personal experiences. I still am pretty young, but I want to talk about what I have been through. I'm gonna have some gameplay in the background that I am actively playing actually. So, if I struggle to think or stutter, please don't flame me, bro. Also, I want this video to be not like a sad video, of how those other YouTubers, when they talk about their personal life and it's all sad. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, it's sad what they talk about, but I want it to be a casual video, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, growing up in elementary school, I didn't really have a lot of friends, which kinda, no, I'm sure a lot of people didn't have a lot of friends, but I feel like me especially, it was pretty bad. All throughout my elementary school years until 6th grade. No, even in 6th grade, I had 2 friends max, and one of them I got into a fight with, a physical fight, so that was bad. But my favorite teacher at my elementary school. Well, actually, I went to 2 different elementary schools. Yeah. I went to now my elementary school, it definitely wasn't the best, but it was something. I don't remember much of it, but what I do remember is my 1st grade teacher, still my favorite teacher to this day. His name was Mr. S. He was a really nice dude. He was definitely older, but still really nice. I was in his after-school reading program, and I felt, he was one of the few teachers to make me feel, special. Not in the autism way, but actually special. I was the best reader in his after-school reading program, and he had this. What do you call it? I don't really know what to call it, but he would give you fake money for good behavior, and then you could save it up. So a certain one Friday of the month, you would be able to buy toys with the fake money and keep it. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I remember he had Beyblades. Oh my gosh, those were the best. And then someone even brought a Beyblade ring. We all got to play in it. It was pretty cool. I didn't really know how to use Beyblades. Yeah, it's very self-explanatory, but I didn't really know how to use them. I didn't really know how to use a lot of things because I was never taught how to. So it's whatever though, I'm better about it now. But anyways, let's talk about my father. But since I'm not really too comfortable calling him my dad or anything like that, let's call him George for privacy's sake. Yeah. Okay, so George. I don't remember much, but what I do remember is George. His mom recently passed, and that took a toll on him. And then my mom got diagnosed with an illness that unfortunately lasts for life. Don't worry, it's not like my mom died or anything. She's still here. But anyways, so his mental health was really bad. He wouldn't really open up to us about it though. He had this Taiwanese. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Taiwanese. Teacher to reteach him Taiwanese because he originated from Taiwan, but I guess he kind of forgot some of the language. But I guess he would vent to her, and my mom thought that George was cheating on her with her. Luckily, he wasn't. I asked him about it. He respect for him on that part, but George was pretty abusive, I would say. I'm not too certain on what level of abusiveness he is. I don't really remember much, I just remember the decent parts, I guess. But his form of punishment for me was either sending me to a corner in my room, which I would have to stand there until he either said or half an hour, which at I think I was 6 years old. Yeah, at 6 years old, that's a long time, dude. And I'll just he would tell me to keep my head down. That was a long time. It would make me cry, but yeah, you know, I was 6, so yeah. Anyways, and then he would spank me. That's another form. Now, obviously, this spanking is like, I would arguably say, nowhere near as bad as like a parent using a belt or a coat hanger or things like that. So I'd say, you know, I got it pretty easy. But then again, he had OCD. Pretty sure. I don't really know, because now he seems like so chill about it. Like about like dirt. But one time I got dirt in his car. Oh my god. Getting any amount of dirt in his car would petrify me, dude. Because like I would know what it means. Like he would get so mad. His like code word for like punishing me was like, he called it spanky. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's literally the word he called it. And that word, as you could probably guess, would scare the heebie-jeebies out of me. But anyways, he would like spank me so hard it'd make me have to pee. Oh my gosh, it's actually kind of funny. But yeah, it was like, maybe it's funny to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's a form of coping. I really have no idea. But anyways, he was a clean fanatic. If I even like spill like a drink, oh my gosh, it was literally doom and despair for me. It's like, it's over for me. I'm cooked. Okay, so anyways, let me fast forward to like, I think 3rd grade. Yeah, no, wait, 2nd grade. I don't really know. But either way, I would tell my mom like, hey, I really don't think what George is doing is right, and like we gotta move. And then surprisingly, not very surprisingly, my mom would listen to me a lot, whether that's for the better or the worse. But she said, oh, you know, get ready, January of next year. I think this was in 2020, yeah, 2020. And then she's like, oh, January 2021, get ready. So, time comes, she breaks the news to him. And when she broke the news to him, it was the first time I ever heard George cry. Because I wouldn't, you know, I'd never hear him cry. So, and this is probably gonna sound cruel, but like when I first heard him cry, I couldn't help but laugh. It just sounded so stupid to me, I guess. So, anyways, we moved to this apartment. It's like 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, you know. Nothing special, but you know, it was definitely a lot bigger than the apartment we were living in before. So anyways, my mom told me when she's dating a guy that, you know, she wants my approval. You know, that was really sweet of her, and I'm kind of glad I did it. Mainly, like, that I approved this one guy. We'll call him, what's a good guy name? Oh my god, I can't think. Oh, let's call him Tony. Yeah, Tony. Okay, so my mom meets this guy named Tony, right? In the apartment, it was pretty dark. I don't really know why we didn't turn on the lights, but you know, we eventually did. But I remember seeing him in construction gear. It was something I've never seen before. Like a dude in boots. You know, he's pretty tall. He's in a construction hat, but he did construction, you know. So that's pretty cool. But little did I know, you know, he'd be the reason for who I am. Yeah, he'd be the reason why I know most of the things I do today. Things like that. Oh my god, I feel like I'm pacing this story like a One Piece episode. Like it's bad. Okay, so anyways. I went to this new elementary school. I'm not even gonna name it for location reason. But I meet this kid named, let's call him, Johan. Yeah. And Johan, you know, he was a pretty cool guy. Um, he had ADHD, so you know, it was kind of like I kind of felt awkward talking to him for like for the first like 2 days, cause like I don't know, he was switched from one topic to another, which isn't bad, but you know, it's not how I operate, I guess. But anyways, uh, Johan was gonna turn out to be my best friend. I'm still friends with him today. You know, awesome dude, by the way. Been there for me when I was in a breakup or like things were going down. You know, it's very nice of him. But you know, when we were younger, and he came over to my house, my dog ate his sock. Oh my god, that was really bad, but kind of funny. Okay, time skip to 2 years ago. We moved again. Prices were getting too high, and my mom told me, you know, there's this house in this city. Well, not really city, but in this place, like 2 hours away. And you know, it's a house. You know, first time ever being in a house, and I've always wanted to be in a house since I was little. I just thought it was so cool. But 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and you know, I was like, oh sweet. But then again, like just the thought of abandoning everything I did here, like all the friends I made. My grandparents even lived in the area, so you know, it was nice visiting them. My grandpa's cookies are the best, bro. I freaking love his cookies. They're so good. But yeah, anyways. We eventually move. I didn't really have a choice, obviously, but you know, we eventually move. And I'm still here today, but you know, this area is like, there's nothing to do, really. The people here are like ghetto, so that's a downside. But other than that, I would go to another elementary school for 6th grade, and that was where I got 2 friends, and I got into a fight with one of them 2 times. Oh gosh, you know, people bring it up like it was an Emmett, like it was a boxing match. Like, dude, it was nothing really. Like, yeah, we tossed each other, but they're acting like it was a full-blown like war or something like that. Like they're saying it's something that's not. But anyways, last year? No, 7th grade year. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, 7th grade year was definitely the worst school year. But anyways, 7th grade year, I get a girlfriend pretty early on. We'll call her Samantha. Samantha, she made me so insecure. She'd make so many empty promises, and you know, she didn't like me for my overthinking. But I thought to myself, well, maybe not in the moment, but now, like, how can you expect me not to overthink when you promise me one thing and then do a completely another thing? Like, your actions go against what you said. But you know, it's all okay now. But we broke up like 4 times. All 4 times were her, unfortunately. I probably should have broken up with her. But, you know, character development, I suppose. But anyways, she had this friend, we'll call her Jennifer. Now, Jennifer liked her, and Samantha liked her, but, you know, Samantha tells me, oh, you know, I don't like her anymore. When I saw you, I lost all feelings for her. I didn't really believe that. Samantha is bisexual, and thinking of that is like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like get her, make sure no girls or like boys take her. But you know, now it's, you know, I don't think like that anymore. Like if she leaves me for another person, there's nothing I can really do. But anyways, what did I call her again? Oh, Jennifer, yeah. Okay. Jennifer SA'd her, and Samantha asked me, can you do something about it? Like, can you help? and I did. Jennifer was in my music class, and I went to my music teacher with my mom and told her like, hey, can you maybe remove her out of music class? And she did. She got moved to beginner band, which is a period after my music class. So, anyways, she tells me, I ask her to promise me, can you, like, don't talk to her anymore, because she'd still kind of talk to her, but I don't really know if it was an excuse or if she was telling the truth, but she said, like, oh, on the days that you're not here, Jennifer comes up to me and, talks to me, and I asked her, like, do you try to stop her? I think she said, yeah, kind of. I don't really remember what she said, but somewhere amongst there. And she'd even, like, call her girl even when I was around. Like, she slowly became friends with her again. Like, it was so stupid in my opinion. Like, how are you gonna ask me to get rid of someone who SA'd you and then become friends with them again? Also, her whole thing, she would mainly go back to people who, like, wronged her a lot. Which I think is, like, bro, why? She said she doesn't know. But, anyways, I'm gonna cut to the part where she breaks up with me for the last time. She breaks up with me for the last time. Starts spreading false rumors, saying like, oh, I was at her window asking her for her to come back to me. Even though one time I did like try to go to her house, she told me like, oh no, it's a bad idea, but I insisted this was wrong on my part. I really shouldn't have insisted, but then she like came up with an idea saying like, oh, there's this part of the fence of where I jump over, maybe you can come over, maybe you can get through in there. Her house had cameras, so it would be hard to come over. But anyway, I think it was a complete lie, to be honest. Like, her fence, like, there's so much, like, green in it. It's practically, like, the fence is pretty tall, but it's, like, really broken. Basically, like, meaning, like, there's bushes coming through it, it'd be hard to hop over. It was way too tall for me, and also I didn't even know how to hop a fence. So, I eventually gave up. So, there'd be no way for me to, like, come to her window. There's cameras there, so, and her mom texts them daily. And I don't even know how to hop a fence. But anyways, she'd always, like, flash me. And, yeah, I enjoyed it, but she eventually peer pressured me into doing it back. Luckily, I only did it once, but unfortunately, she used that against me. She would spread rumors saying, oh, he won't stop spamming me with dick pics. And one of her friends came up to me asking, like, hey, why do you keep on sending Samantha dick pics? And I told him, dude, we haven't been in contact for a long time. Well, not a long time, but a while. And she blocked me, I blocked her. It's all that stuff. And then I don't know if she sent her friends, but she sent like, yeah, they were her friends. She sent like some of her friends while I was walking home. They came up to me, looking like they were coming for a fight. But they're like really mad at me. I don't remember exactly for what, but I walked away. Quickly got back home. They looked like they were gonna slide me out. So I can't take like 3 people on. I'm not built for that. And that's basically like all I can remember. I didn't really have any friends when. Okay, so anyways, I had to pause my recording while my siblings came in. Where was I? Oh yeah, I walked away. It looked like they were gonna jump me. I'm not built for that, so. That's basically all I can remember. Now that I talk about it, it doesn't sound as bad as like on paper it doesn't sound as bad, but I feel like when I would talk to people about it, it was like the more I talk about it, the more I remember. But you know, now it's just kind of a blur to me. I don't remember much. Oh yeah, I didn't have much friends and then when she broke up with me, I didn't really have anyone to go to. I had my family members to, you know, cope to. Well, not cope, but what's it called? I don't remember, but I was explaining to them like what happened. So you know, that was nice. My uncle, which he has the most like relationship experience, he was there for me when I was really sad about it. I mean, he probably knows the most and would understand it the most. You know, he was there for me, and I will always appreciate him for that. 8th grade year, yeah, that was probably my best school year. I had friends, you know. I became like semi-popular, I would say. My ex, she got a new boyfriend, but you know, it's okay. She used to be really popular last year. All the 8th graders and like 7th graders would back her up, help her, etc. And you know, this year I'm not sure if she cut them off or if they just left her. But she would mainly only hang out with her boyfriend, which there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, you would think someone who was really popular with a bunch of people wouldn't cut off their friends. But I got to do the graduation speech. That was pretty cool. I got a bunch of honor roll awards, and I did pretty good academically for that year. Anyways, thank you guys for listening.
Send me yellow strap up in my top. JB wasn't playing around, he turned into a tic-tac. All my bad fuckers skinny bitches, ain't no big. Never spinner on the block, I never missed that. Bitch, I'm shooting all this Glock, I catch like 6 shots. I step my brother Ari, roll like 6 racks. Up into the top, that's where we been.